Welcome to Decrypt Crypto. In the last episode, we went over what an ICO is and where you can find the next best ICO to invest in. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down what an IDO is. Now, fundamentally, it's very similar to the way that an ICO is, but the outlet in which you can purchase an IDO is actually slightly different. So IDO actually stands for Initial DEX Offering. And DEX in itself is an abbreviation for Decentralized Exchange. And fundamentally, again, it's the same as an ICO, but it's available to pretty much buy from a DEX. And the reason why you have IDOs is because it functions very similar to the way an IPO is, in which the project owners may want to raise capital. There is less regulation involved and it has an international reach, which means everyone from every crevice of the world can actually invest in this project. The caveat that I would like to actually add to that, however, is that a lot of DEXers are now starting to implement something called KYC, which is basically know your customer. And certain countries like the United States actually doesn't allow you to be able to participate in IDOs. So that is something you do need to be aware of if you're interested in participating. So some notable IDOs have been GameFi, Orion, and Victoria, with GameFi having a 366x from its initial IDO price to where its all-time high price was. You also have Orion, which was listed at 10 cents and actually went on to do a 292x. So now you're probably wondering, how do you participate in an IDO? To try simplify this as much as possible, in order for you to participate in an IDO, you would need to choose which DEX you would like to actually purchase from, which is what I'm going to show you right now. Before we resume the video, if you still need a personalized discussion, schedule a one-on-one call with us at decryptcrypto.net and we'll be here to support you on your journey. With that being said, let's get back into the video. So for this example, I'm just going to use a website called CryptoRank. And all I do is, this is a home page. What I'm going to want to actually do is, I actually want to see what the ROIs have been, and I want to actually see the IDO launchpad. So what this actually populates for me is the top performing IDO pads, which have basically historically done really well, and you can see actually the percentage growth. Okay, so I'm gonna actually give you a quick example with BSC pad. All I do is basically just go to their websites, and this allows me to be able to see all of their projects that they have coming up. As of now, you can actually see that there's no open projects, but basically how this works is, you actually have to purchase the native token for each launchpad. So in this case, I would have to actually purchase BSC pad, and there's a minimum of 1000 BSP pad that I have to hold before I can actually participate in one of their IDOs. And depending on how much you actually hold, it'll allow you to be able to get a specific slot, which allows you to purchase a very small amount. So basically, if you hold a lot of BSC pad, let's just say I hold 100,000 BSC pad, that is literally what I need before I can even take part in this launch pad. So I need to hold anywhere between 1,000 to 100,000 BSC pad. Once I hold that, this verifies that I'm holding that amount, which allows me to take part in one of these IDOs. That then allows me to participate in a very specific time frame to buy a certain amount of that project, and it's also capped. So you can see here, this one had a total of 2,076 participants. It raised 100%, and depending on how much BSC pad that you held, you would have been able to use Binance coin in order to purchase this token, which is about 66 VPR per $1. Depending on how much BSC pad tokens that you hold, it will allow you to trade anywhere between $1 to $5 per ICO project. And if you have 100,000, for example, that may be between $5 to $10 that you can buy for this project. And this is just very general numbers to explain to you the tiers, that the more BSC pad that you hold, the more amount that you can purchase of this project. The less you hold, the less priority you have, the less tokens you'll receive. There is also a vesting period as well. Sometimes it'll be 8 months, sometimes it'll be a year, sometimes it could be 2 months. They will specify what that vesting period is, and you would basically have to claim your tokens over a period of 4 months. This is generalistically how all of the launchpads do it, and for me that's why I didn't feel there was a good enough return investing in projects on IDOs. But this is just an informative video to explain to you how you can actually take part in an IDO and what an IDO actually is. In the next video we'll be explaining what an IEO is, so stay tuned for that one.